I'm Amber Sherlock and welcome to the Trusted Authority Alliance Expert Series show. I'm here today with David Nixon. David is Australia's leading authority on breaking through the $5 to $10 million barrier and has been helping businesses break that barrier now for nearly 20 years. David is also the author of the book Growing Up, Unleash Your Business Growth, and he joins me today. Welcome, David.
Thank you.
Can you share with the audience a little bit about your story and the success that you've had?
Well, I started life as a civil engineer and worked my way through councils, utilities, engineering companies. I started working with small projects, ended up with multi-million-dollar projects. I worked my way through doing business case studies and spent a lot of time doing actually strategy for different organisations. I then actually ended up working for multinationals, but it can be a little bit soul-destroying working for New York listed companies. Then I look back at my father, who's ran a small business all his life, and it soon becomes an easy decision to make that you actually want to get back and actually work with small businesses. So I've been able to manage to leverage off my big business experience and actually try to bring that back into the small business arena. So I've spent the last 10 years transitioning from multinational companies to the business advisory that I'm actually operating today.
So why did you decide to write this book?
I started writing this book 30 years ago. Every time I've seen something new, I've said I should add that into my book. Every time I've seen something that didn't look right, where people were wasting resources, they were wasting time, I said I should put that into my book. So 30 years later, with a lot of thoughts in my head, I actually started to write the book. A lot of people struggle in small business. They know they've been successful, but they're not quite sure how to get to the next level. So the book was actually trying to address some of those issues, try to take my experience and actually share it basically with the rest of the business world, and especially those small businesses that can't afford to have an executive on staff all the time.
So that is specifically who the book is aimed at?
It's aimed at the founder, it's aimed at the managing director. Quite often these people have actually developed their own companies, they've got large, they've actually got up to that $5 million, $10 million mark, but they're struggling to take the next leap.
So what are some of the big ideas that you'd like readers to take away from your book?
There's probably several ideas, but probably the biggest thing is to take the time out from working in your business to on your business. A lot of the issues I find are same across all businesses, and they're growth barriers. Every small business have growth barriers, and it might be struggling with new technology, struggling with resources, struggling with the marketplace that you're actually working in, and they're easily identified. Most business owners actually know their top 4 or 5 issues, and they can be the top of the iceberg, but sitting actually under that tends to be a series of other issues that are common across all different industries.
So how will your book make an impact on your reader and help them?
A lot of founders, managing directors have been very successful taking their business to where they are now, but they're actually struggling to get to the next phase, and they're not quite sure why. They haven't had the time to actually take a step back and actually be able to analyse and actually try to work out what their issues are. They've been working in the business and they haven't actually been working on the business. So the book is a call to action to those people to start looking and see that there is growth issues, and once you actually realise you do have a problem, you can actually start to address it.
Can you take us through 1 or 2 success stories of clients that have followed your approach?
I've got quite a few success stories. I've been working with a IT company now for a couple of years. They have come up with a very innovative asset management outsourcing solution. They were actually seeing all the CIOs across the country, all the IT people, but they couldn't actually get any breakthrough. I started actually working with them, and I need to explain that when we're talking with engineering companies, utilities, mining companies, it's the operations people, it's the asset management people. They're the ones making the decisions. They're looking at the cost effectiveness of the business and trying to look at business improvements. So we refocused this business and got them to start to look at talking to different people in the businesses, and now they've actually been very successful in the businesses that they were chasing to start with. I've got another smaller business, it's a consulting business, and they were looking to double their size over a couple of years. There was 2 founders to the business. They were really struggling with how they actually operated, what their business model was. They couldn't actually even identify what their business model was. We spent some time with them actually trying to define what their target market was, what resources they need to do that, what they actually needed to grow to move forward, and they've actually been quite successful in that period since then.
When you're looking at clients you want to work with, what sort of qualities are you searching for?
I think it's very important that you've got a good fit with anybody you work with. My criteria is they have to like me, I have to like them, but they also have to be willing to invest in the work that we're going to do together. And that's both money, time and resources. The other thing I can actually bring to people is my experience. I've worked a lot with utilities, engineering companies, construction, mining. I can bring those to clients, but I can also work with clients who are looking at people from those industries as their clientele. And I can bring some expertise in that. But that said, sometimes it's quite good to be sitting in a room of experts and to start asking the dumb questions. You can come up with some very good foresight into their businesses when you ask the dumb questions that nobody around the room will actually ask.
So what are some of the challenges your clients will face in the future?
Most of the challenges probably come into two categories, some traditional ones and some emerging ones. The problem with smaller business, small, medium businesses, they're actually faced with the same legislation, compliance and regulatory burdens as the large multinationals, but they don't have the same resources to actually be able to deal with it. And that's a continual problem they're actually always faced with. Several emerging issues are coming, mainly around technology and changing expectations of the public. And businesses actually need to be on top of this, but once again, they tend not to have the resources in-house to be actually able to deal with some of these issues.
What would you say is the single best piece of advice that you give your clients?
Stop and smell the roses. Not literally stop and smell the roses, but take time out from your business to look at your business, to look over your business, to work from outside your business and to actually see what's going on. If you can't take a step back from your business, you're never going to be in a position where you can actually improve that business or grow, and you'll be in a slow decline to the base. Quite often, with Christmas is coming up, Christmas is a great time for small business leaders to actually look at their business because they've got a little bit of time off. Quite often during the year, they never have time off, and therefore they don't actually have that time to be able to step out of their business.
What would you say is the most fulfilling part of what you do?
Success is very fulfilling. It's great to see a client move to a next level. It's great to actually work with a client and you actually see them identify the growth barriers in their business and they move to another level of success. They might be a $5 million business and they become a $10 million business. It's like having a new family member, and you put the effort into them, and over a period of time you see them grow and succeed. And to me, that's what success looks like.
Well, your book is Growing Up, Unleash Your Business Growth. David Nixon, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.